So today's episode is about
A Mighty Wind.
This is a movie that came out in 2003. It's a mockumentary style movie. The director, Christopher Guest, is known for these kinds of movies.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Christopher Guest movie?
I actually really like this one, but Best in Show.
Best in Show is hilarious. Objectively, it's probably the funniest one of his movies. And I think it's probably, besides, with the nerdy crowd, the theater crowd, Waiting for Guffman is very popular. But I think notoriety-wise and just like quality of movie and broad audience, Best in Show is probably the winner.
Well, it's just more accessible.
It's so funny. And the cast is amazing. The nice thing about Christopher Guest is that he uses the same cast in basically all of his movies.
Yeah.
Expert improvisers. A lot of these movies have like a basic skeletal outline to them, and then the cast just improvises the whole script.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
They are hilarious.
They do a great job with this one in particular.
Yeah, today we're going to focus on A Mighty Wind because this is my favorite one. And the reason it's my favorite is because as a musician, this one really speaks to me. It's about folk musicians that are getting together for a concert. It's hilarious. The music is amazing. All of these actors play their instruments. They actually form bands to play this. Yep.
Yeah, it's super rad. And the characters that they've come up with are really, really good. Eugene Levy's character is so funny.
Yeah.
It is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know how he came up with it. It's like magic.
Yeah. And he actually co-wrote this movie. Co-wrote, once again, a lot of it is improvisation.
Yeah.
But he did co-write it with Christopher Guest, the director, and kind of the mastermind behind these mockumentary style films. Christopher Guest was in Spinal Tap with Harry Shearer.
Turn it up to 11.
Yeah, as well as other folks that are in this movie. Obviously, they're older now, so they're playing folk instruments.
Yeah, and Catherine O'Hara, I didn't realize she had such a pretty voice, but it's so sweet.
It's a very sweet movie. That is the way to say it. Nice and short, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. The comedy, the performances are beautiful. They had a song from this nominated for Best Song of the Year at the Oscars the year it came out in 2003. To that point, this is the record, the vinyl record for the A Mighty Wind soundtrack.
Yeah.
And this, believe it or not, is exceedingly rare. I hate to admit it, but it's probably one of the more expensive records in my collection, something that I've definitely overpaid for. Sorry, honey.
Okay.
But you know how much I wanted it.
Yeah, I know, and it's amazing, and it sounds awesome, and they committed. They put the whole songs on here, not just like clips and things like some soundtracks tend to do.
Yeah, and what's nice about this soundtrack is that it's not like music inspired by A Mighty Wind. This is the actual songs from the bands that were created for the movie. It's beautiful music, folk music, once again, very much in the traditional style of the 60s. If you haven't seen A Mighty Wind, the reason we bring it up today is because a lot of people haven't seen this. They've seen Best in Show. I grew up in musical theater and around, those kinds of theater folks, so obviously they love Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah.
But this one is definitely my favorite. It's the most heartfelt. I personally think it tells the nicest story, the best overall story. After watching this one, if you're still interested in this style of movie, I highly recommend checking out Christopher Guest's other work, obviously Spinal Tap from back in the day, which...
This is Spinal Tap. Yes.
This is Spinal Tap, thank you. Drea knows that movie very well because it has to do with rock music. And then there's Waiting for Guffman, there's this one, there's For Your Consideration, which was a later movie of his, and then I think his most recent movie was Mascots, which he did for Netflix, so you can Netflix that. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's okay. It doesn't compare to something like this or Best in Show.
And also, once you've got established the older stuff and you like the older stuff, I don't know, it's just hard to like match that uniqueness.
You're saying we only like it because it's the old stuff? We sound like hipsters and old. Old hipsters.
It's not just that. It's because we've become accustomed to that. It's like when you watch the first like Iron Man movie. It's awesome. It's a superhero movie. And it's amazing. And it raised the bar on things. But then they kept churning out Marvel movies. So you're not as impressed with the same level. You have to they have to bump it up even more.
And
so it's like that.
It's true. You'll get that fatigue. Like if you were to sit down for a weekend and watch all of his movies, they are all mockumentaries. They all have the exact same cast for the most part. Special little guest stars here and there. But yeah, if you watch them all in a run, you could say, wow, these are starting to look very cookie cutter.
They're not. That's the thing, is that they create such wonderful characters every time. So you have the same faces, but they're so different. all of these actors are phenomenal. Like I said, like Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, they like knocked it out of the park with this particular pair. But they're amazing in the other movies too. You know, it's so interesting, like what they brought to the table and what each actor brings to the table with their own little improv and their own little character they decided to develop. So it's super cool.
Plus, any comedy that stars Fred Willard, I'm totally in for.
It's true.
I know that guy's a clown, but I love Fred Willard. So, you know, check this out. You will not be disappointed. And listen to the music. The music is, by itself, also an awesome, awesome piece of work.
Yeah, it's super good. What was Fred Willard's line? What happened?
What happened? We'll leave you with that. You watch this, and then you'll be telling all your friends what happened.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Check this out. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. More coming soon. Have a good one.
Take care.